There's some whores in this house. 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 There's some whores.
It's a hurricane. Right now it's kind of sunny. Things are doing fine. Everyone thinks the Fed can handle this. That hurricane is right out there down the road coming our way. We just don't know if it's a minor one or Superstorm Sandy or Sandy or Andrew or something like that. And you better brace yourself.
The Simp Economy is recession-proof. Over the course of this upload and discussion, I will present to you my case, reasoning, and evidence why I argue the Simp Economy is recession-proof and maybe, just maybe, forever. The Simp Economy is recession-proof, but what exactly is a recession? If you were to crack open one or two of the best-selling economics books of all time written by your favorite economics professor, say for example, Dr. Thomas Sowell or Professor N. Gregory Mancoux, you wouldn't get very far before you were presented with the traditional definition of recession. A recession is defined as a period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall of GDP in 2 successive quarters. By that definition, from your Economics 101 textbook, the U.S. economy will enter recession officially in the 3rd quarter beginning July 1st, 2022.
There's some whores in this house. 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 There's some whores in this.
The American pimp and blues vocalist from the San Francisco Bay Area, Fillmore Slim, also known as the West Coast Godfather of Game, is oft quoted for his popular saying, "Pussy gon' sell when cotton and corn won't." Profound statement indeed. In 2022, Fillmore Slim will celebrate his 88th birthday, so we know he has lived long enough to see, observe, and confirm the enduring strength of the Simp Economy.
There's some whores in this house. 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 There's some whores in this.
I know. Some well-meaning listener will ask the obvious question. Why are you quoting a street pimp? There has to be some greater research and/or data to back your theory that the Simp Economy is recession-proof. Where is the scholar academic-backed proof that the Simp Economy is truly recession-proof? I refuse to take a pimp's logic as truth, they will say. Well, it just so happens that there was an academic who tackled this very issue, and the impact of his discovery would come to fruition decades later when it developed into social media, influencers, meta kittens, and OnlyFans thoughts. Some refer to this academic as the Simp's Shrink. The Simp's Shrink. But his real name was Dr. Robert Ziontz. His theory is known as the mere exposure effect. It is this theory that grounds our understanding of why the Simp Economy is recession-proof. Dr. Robert Ziontz was a Polish-American social psychologist who was world-renowned and famous as a professor at the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor. He was born in Poland on the 23rd of November 1923 and passed away the 3rd of December 2008 in Palo Alto, California. Dr. Zionts is the 35th most cited psychologist of the 20th century. There is no doubt that he left a huge impression on the field of psychology. Dr. Zionts' mere exposure effect was first postulated and published in 1968. In a nutshell, Dr. Zionts argued that the longer you subscribe to a cam girl, OnlyFans thought, or meta kitten influencer, the more you convince and fool yourself that your digital transactional based interactions with your favorite meta idol is a real replacement for the actual genuine romantic connections you so deeply, deeply desire in your own life.
There's some whores in this house. 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 There's some.
With this basic understanding, Dr. Zionts' theory of mere exposure effect can be an effective lens by which we view the simp economy. It's important that we take this theory and zoom in on a real-world example of the mere exposure effect in practice in the same simp economy. In order to see the truth, we are going to travel to the dark side of the web. It's educational to see how these simp-based transactional relationships can play out for the worst in real time. When the lines between meta and real life become so blurred and confusing that it confuses the actual simp in the transactional relationship. And when their mind becomes confused and chaotic, bad things happen. The case we will review together is a tragedy out of Houston, Texas that made national headlines in late August, early September 2021. In this case, a man named Kevin Orcorto, now commonly known as the Simp Stalker, killed Instagram OnlyFans meta kitten Miss Mercedes Moore, whose real name was Janae Gagnier, by strangulation and traumatic concussion. According to the Houston Medical Examiner, this cowardly killer, Kevin Orcorto, later went on to kill himself by sharp force trauma.
An Instagram model with more than 2 million followers is found murdered in Richmond.
And tonight, police say they don't know, or don't rather have a motive, but the suspect is dead too. Our Grace White is following the case.
Her name was Miss Mercedes Moore. At least that's what she goes by on Instagram, where she has more than 2 million followers. Her real name, Janae Gagnier, now dead at 33.
We pulled in while everybody was still here and the police were here, and the people were grieving.
Neighbors at the apartment complex in Richmond on West Point Circle shocked Sunday evening to see a crime scene.
This lady did pass away, that she was killed, and really that's all that we know.
And much about the case is still a mystery. Richmond police are the lead. All they've said so far, they believe it was a murder-suicide. The medical examiner says she was strangled to death. Found with her was 34-year-old Kevin Orcorto. The ME says he died by suicide from multiple sharp force trauma.
Certainly we're going to be praying for her family. We know that it's a tragedy for the whole community.
A tragedy where there's still no known motive. Police say her family told detectives there was no relationship between the two. But there was no forced entry. Investigators confirmed his address in Florida, leaving family and friends to wonder if she was stalked on social media. But when we asked, Richmond police told us it's all still under investigation. Grace White, KHOU 11 News.
Now that we have explored the theory and practice of the mere exposure effect and how it can completely warp a simp's sense of reality and boundaries, I'll share 3 proven reasons why the simp economy is recession-proof, while the greater global economy will be stuck in possibly the worst recession since the Great Depression, as J.P. Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon said. An economic hurricane is coming, so brace yourself or be swept away. But I make the case that won't apply to the simp economy. Reason number 1. Joe Biden, aka the Simp in Chief, has announced the first of several waves of student loan forgiveness measures just in time for the 2022 midterm elections. Left socialists have already agreed to forgive $10,000 of student loan debt per debtor across the board. But influential socialists Bernie Sanders, AOC, and Senator Elizabeth Warren are committed to the full erasure of all student loan debt by 2024, again, just in time for the next presidential election. We know at least 3 facts about student loan debt. Fact number 1, total outstanding student loan debt is an astonishing $1.6 trillion. Fact number 2, 60% of this outstanding student loan debt is owned by American women, around $930 billion. Fact number 3, the biggest beneficiary of this student debt forgiveness will be the colleges and universities who overcharge students and overpay deans, administrators, and professors. Ironically, it is this hyperinflation in the cost of attendance that empowers big education to buy more sympathetic politicians.
There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house.
Reason number 2, content subscription-based platforms in the mold of OnlyFans that allow content creators to receive direct payment from their fans and subscribers in the form of tips and product purchases are only growing. Moreover, OnlyFans has 2 million content creators and 131 regular users. In fact, I've seen reports that claim OnlyFans has over 200 million subscribers. Also, content as a service has not reached peak saturation point. We know this because more competitors to OnlyFans continue to enter the marketplace for those simp economy dollars. Some of those competitors are XFans, FanView, Megacams, Fanso, Fansly, among many others. Think about it for a moment. OnlyFans raised at least $2 billion in 2021. So we know this market is huge, and the simp economy has proven very resistant to collapse. We saw this during the height of the COVID pandemic. OnlyFans type platforms only grew. So from what I can see, the simp economy remains strong as we move quickly into a very, very deep 2022 recession. And now we come to reason number 3. The final reason why the simp economy is recession-proof. This may be a surprise to many, but men now outnumber the total female population by 66 million across the planet. And this disparity is growing yearly. Sure, there are many reasons this male to female ratio has come into existence, but a few of the main reasons for this demographic shift are abortion, male child gender preferences, government birth restrictions, anti-sex policies and behaviors, tech addiction, gender disparities in life expectancies, and there are many more causes. But whatever the consequence and resultant outcome, the men are the majority on the planet. This is creating an environment where more and more men are competing for a smaller and smaller population of eligible females, especially attractive ones.
There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house.